In this series of programming in Java, today's topic is about method overriding. Now the term overriding sounds familiar. Why? Because we have already gone through the topic of overloading, but the term overriding and overloading are two entirely different terms when we talk about any object oriented programming language. But let us try to understand what does this overriding does. So basically we can say when we talk about the term polymorphism, which is one of the we can say a basic pillars of our object oriented programming paradigm, our overriding is actually its method, or it's a technique to implement runtime polymorphism. Let's see how. Now consider a class hierarchy when in which a method in a subclass is having the same name and the same type signature as a method in its superclass. And when we are trying to access that method, then the method in subclass is set to override the method in the superclass. That means the same name, the same signature method is available within the subclass and within the superclass as well. Then when an overridden method, this is what you called overriding. So when an overridden method is called from within the subclass, it will always refer to the version of that method which is defined by the subclass, and the version of the method defined by the superclass will be hidden. So what I am trying to say here, let us see that with the help of an example, and this is what the concept of overriding is. So here we have a class A in which there are two variables, integer I and j. There is a constructor for assigning the values of I and j, and these values are being assigned with the help of two variables which are passed inside the constructor, which is small a and b. The value of a goes to I, the value of b goes to j, and there is a method which says show, and that is printing the value of I and the value of j. So this is what our class is, which is named as class A. Now in case of overriding, there has to be the inheritance thing. In case of overloading, it is not compulsory to have a concept of inheritance implemented within. So that's what a major difference between overloading and overriding is. So here we have a class B which is extending A, and you must have got by this time that class B is the child class of the class A, and there is one variable which is k defined inside this class B. Now class B, after extending class A here, is now having three variables which are I, j and k. I and j are the variables from A, and k is the variable which is declared by itself. So in this, the B the constructor of the class B, which is named as B, obviously is taking two variables A and B, passing this inside the super keyword, which is in turn calling the constructor of class A, and the value of C is given to K. Now this is actually a very kind of we can say a common redundant thing which we have seen in our previous lectures also. Now what is new here is one method which is named as show. The name is show, the parameters are nil, and this same signature, that means void show, is also being kind of defined inside the superclass which is class A, and with the same signature, that is void show and no parameters. This is also being defined inside the class B. So that means same signature, same name method inside the subclass as well as inside the superclass as well. This is going to this is what we call is method overriding. Now here your class B has extended class A. That means it is now having two versions of this show, one version which is being which is being extended, which is being inherited from class A, and another version which is its own version. So here we have void show, and within this void show it is just printing k, and in the previous that previous as in the class A's show, it is printing I and j. So now both the versions are different in terms of the content, but they are same in terms of the signature. Now what is going to happen when we are going to instantiate the class B and going to call this show with the object of class B? Let us see this. So we have a class override, public static void main. So within the main function we have instantiated our class B. The name of the object or the reference variable is sub OB is equals to new B 1 2 3. 1 and 2 will be given to A and B, I and J, and 3 will be given to K. And now we are saying sub OB dot show. So which version of show is being called here? Because now class B, being the child class of class A, is having two versions of show. One version is from class A, another version is from class B. Now we cannot differentiate between these two by parameters or by the return type. The reason being the signature is same. Even when we are calling this method show using the object of class B, this is going to give us the print k as 3. That means the output produced by this program shows that this is going to call, or this is actually calling the show version of class B, not the show version of class A. And when we have one similar method, similar as in similar in terms of signatures, between the class parent class as well as the child class, between the subclass as well as the superclass, the same method, the method with the same signature is there. This situation is known as method overriding. So when show is invoked on an object of type B, the version of show which is defined within the B is used. So that means here the concept says the version of show inside the B overrides the version declared in A, and this is why it is known as method overriding as the concept. So version of show inside the, or the version of the overridden method inside the subclass is going to override the version declared inside the superclass. Now what if we actually want to access the version of superclass? That means the method overridden method of the superclass is to be accessed within the within the subclass. What is the solution for that? The solution is, actually you all are aware of that solution, is the keyword super. So that means the superclass version of an overridden method can be accessed by using super. So for example, in this when we have taken A and B, when we want in this version of B, if the superclass version of show is to be invoked within the subclass, that means we need to write super dot show, and this will allow all instance variable to be displays. Now how it is going to take place, let us see that with the help of an example. So class A we are going to keep the same, that means one particular class A in which there are two instance variables I and j, one constructor A and another one the method show which is displaying the value of I and j. Now here within the B, what change we have done? The change we have done is within the method show. So void show, the first statement here is super dot show. So this statement which is super dot show is going to call the overridden method show which is available inside the parent class or inside class A. That means we can call this calls A's show, and then that A's show is going to print only the value of I and j, because that super class or that class A is not having any idea about the variable k which belongs to class B or which belongs to subclass. So, superclass is having no idea that what is actually happening inside the subclass, we can say. So, here in order to print that subclass variable which is k, we need to extend, or we need to write an statement system.out.println k. So, it is like that. So, in order to access the A's shows version, or in order to access the parent class version of an overridden method, we will be using the keyword super as shown in this program, and this keyword super has to be the first line or the first statement within our method. So, if we are going to substitute this version of class B in the previous program, it is going to give us the output I and j as 1 and 2 and k equals to 3. So, the first line of the output which says I and j 1 and 2 is actually generated or is actually printed by this super.show, which is calling the super class version of this overridden method show. K value of k as 3 is being printed by the show method of class B. So, in this way actually your super class method is being overridden by the subclass method, but there is a way in which if you need the super class version of the overridden method can be accessed, and the way is using the keyword super. Now, a compulsion here is method overriding occurs only when the name and type signature of the two methods are identical, and these two methods are actually within the superclass and the subclasses. If the type signatures are not identical, only the names are the same, then please recall that will be the concept of overloading. So, that means if type signature of the two methods are not identical, then the two methods will simply be overloaded. Now, how? Just in order to have a complete connectivity, or in order to have a complete flow, let us see a quick example of the overloading also. So, here in this class A we have I and j two variables. This is what I have already explained, and the show method is there giving the value of I and j. So, the class A is as it is, we have not changed anything in class A, while if we talk about the class B, so class B extends A, and in this an overloaded example of show is void show, and the parameter, that means we can say the signature here are changed. Instead of having no parameters, one string variable is being passed to the show method, and then that message plus the value of k is being printed, we can say here. So, here because the signature of the show method in both the classes is different, and when class B is going to extend class A, now this class B after inheritance will be having two versions of show. One version with no parameters, which is coming from the class A because of the inheritance, another version of show with one string method which is its own method. So, now with these two methods with these two methods named as show, but different parameters or different signatures, the situation which is happening here is going to be overloading rather than overriding. And now, here let us see what is happening if we are going to call the version of show, different version of show with the object of the class B. So, the main function says we have created one object of class B passing 1, 2, 3. This is what we have done in our previous example also. Now, if we are going to say sub ob dot show and then there is a message, then this is going to call the relevant method show which is having one parameter as a string. That means this will calls the show version of the class B, while if we are saying sub ob dot show, that means this will call the show version in A. Both the versions are available with class B because B has extended the class A. So, now it is having two versions of show, one with the parameter, another one with the without parameter. So, depending upon what you are calling here, the depending upon the signature of the called function, the relevant version is being called. So, this is actually, if you can see very carefully, is overloading, it is not overriding. Overriding is considered when we talk about a function which is having the same name as the same name and the same signature in both the classes, the parent class as well as the super class. And here is the output, first is this is k and then show ij, which is 1 and 2. So, the first call to this show is given by the show version of the class B, which says this is k and the value of k is also being printed. Then the next call to the class show belongs to the show version of the class A, and hence we have got the output accordingly. As I have already told you when we were discussing the overloading topic, that overloading is is actually the way of a programming language to implement compile time polymorphism. Now, compile time apart from compile time polymorphism, we have one more type of polymorphism which is known as runtime polymorphism. Now, this runtime polymorphism, or at the bottom line of this runtime polymorphism, there exists our method overriding. This method overriding actually forms the basis for one of the Java's most powerful concepts, and that concept is known as dynamic method dispatch. And this dynamic method dispatch is actually Java's implementation of runtime polymorphism. Now, what is this? Dynamic method dispatch is actually a mechanism by which a call to an overridden method is resolved at runtime rather than at the compile time. When we are talking about the overloading, the call to the function, that means which function is to be called, is decided or is resolved at the time of program compilation. While when we talk about method overriding and the dynamic method dispatch concept says that a call to an overridden method will be resolved at the runtime rather than the compile time. Now, how it is going to happen? This will happen with a fact which we have already studied, that a superclass reference variable can refer to a subclass object. So, that means there is a reference variable which belongs to a superclass, in which in that reference variable we are going to store, or we are going to through that reference variable an object of the subclass can be referred. Now, how it is happening? So, when an overridden method is called through a superclass reference, Java system is going to determine which version of that method is to be executed based upon the type of object being referred to at the time of the call. So, whenever the call is going to happen, on the basis of the type of the object being referred to, it will be decided that which version of the method is to be executed. And here we are considering the bottom line fact that a superclass reference variable can refer to a subclass object. And please notice that this resolution or this resolving of calls or this resolving of methods is going to be determined at the time of at runtime, not at the compile time. So, when different type of objects are referred to, different versions of an overridden method will be called, and it will be always the type of object being referred to, not the type of the reference variable that determine which version of an overridden method will be executed. So, therefore, if we say that there is a scenario in which a superclass contains a method that is overridden by a subclass, when and in this situation when different type of objects are referred to through a superclass reference variable, different versions of the methods are executed. So, in order to understand this concept using let us try to understand this concept using a program, and this is what the functionality of dynamic method dispatch is. So, then in this dynamic method dispatch, let us consider a program in which we have a class A as it is shown on the screen, and then we have within this class A we have one method which is the method named as call me, and inside this there is a statement to be printed inside A's call me method, and this method as far as signatures are concerned, it is void and it is not having any parameters also. This is for your class A. Then there is a class B which is extending class A by putting the call me with the same signatures as that of A. This class B is actually overriding this method call me, and within the class B's version of call me, there is a statement which is going to get printed inside B's call me method. Similarly, we have a class C which is extending class A. That means now your class A is having two subclasses, one is class B, another one is class C. On the similar lines as that of the class B, class C is also overriding this method call me. So, void call me here also, and this is printing inside C's call me method. So, now all the three classes, the class A, the superclass, the class B subclass, and the class C, another subclass, are having their own versions of call me, and these methods are actually overridden, one because of inheritance, another one because of the same same name and the same signature. Now, within the main method, please see carefully that what is being done. Within the main method, we have created one object of type A named as small a by the statement A, small a is equals to new A. Similarly, we have created object of type B named as small b, the reference variable is named as small b, and the object of type C is also being created, the reference variable is named as small c. And now, we are obtaining a reference of type A by saying AR. So, that means R now is a reference variable of the class A. Now, this class A being the superclass, this R which is the reference variable or the reference of type A can store the object of class B and class C, which are the subclasses of the class A. So, when we are storing the object object small a inside the reference variable R, by just saying R is equals to A, R is going to refer to an object of class A, the parent class, and we are calling R dot call me. Then we have R dot B, this is some R equals to B, this is something which we need to understand here is, now R is actually referring to the object of B. R actually a type of is a reference type of A, but this can refer to the object of class B. Why? Because A is the parent class and B is the a child class. So, a parent class reference variable can have the object of the child class, and with that we have called R dot call me. Then similar thing we have done for C, that means in the reference of type A which is R, we are storing the object of C, which is the small c, and then calling r dot call me. And when we are calling r dot call me and the reference is having the object of A's version of call me will be called. When the reference is having object of B and we are calling r dot call me, B's version of call me is called. And when the reference variable r is having object of class C and calling r dot call me, C's version of call me is being called. So here you can see the output. First it says inside A's call me method, second it says inside B's call me method, and third it says inside C's call me method. So this states that in this program we have created one superclass A, two subclasses B and C. B and C are overriding call me, which is declared in A, and inside the main method objects of A, B and C are declared. Also a reference of type A, R is declared. Now a reference to each type of object to R is being assigned and uses that reference to invoke call me. And as the output shows, the version of call me executed is determined by the type of object being referred to at the time of call. Had it been determined by the type of the reference variable, the output will be 3 calls to A's call me, but this is not happening. A's call me, then B's call me, and then C's call me. This shows that the version of call me which is executed is determined by the type of object being referred to at the time of call. So here in this lecture we have seen two concepts. One is the method overriding. We understood what is method overriding and how it is different from overloading. And apart from that, going further, we have also understood the topic of dynamic method dispatch with an example, and the example is being kind of referred from the book. The complete reference, which is the book, was written by Herbert Shield, and here is a reference. Here is the URL from which that reference is being taken. I hope you have enjoyed the lecture. I will see you in the next one. Till then, take care. Goodbye.